Gentlemen, thank you for meeting me here. I realize this hurricane has dealt a significant blow to our operations, but don't be alarmed. As you can see, our old sales office withstood much of the hurricane's damage, much like the city of Coral Gables itself. Things may be bad around the rest of Miami, but we will come back from this. In the past week, I've sent letters to our landowners assuring them that we've taken minimal damage. Coral Gables will rise from the ashes like a great phoenix. Let's carry on as usual. We have a lot of catching up to do. Alfie, before you go, could I speak with you a moment? I need a rather large favor from you.
You don't say. What might that be?
I've been hearing some worrying rumors concerning the Biltmore Hotel.
What sort of rumors?
It's no secret that organized crime has seen a spike lately, but I never thought it would reach us. I've heard stories of illicit gambling and alcohol being served somewhere in the hotel. I would appreciate it if you could investigate and report back to me.
Okay, I'll see what I can find.
And Alfie, please be discreet.
I'll try. Everything good with you, Benny?
Good enough, Mr. Banks. Thanks for asking.
Glad to hear it. Keep up the good work. Excuse me.
How may I help you, sir?
Don't I know you from the Hotel Belmont on Flagler Street?
Yes, I used to work there a few years ago.
I thought so. That was the first place I stayed when I got here. Things certainly seem to have changed for the both of us since then.
It does seem that way, sir.
Anything interesting you can tell me about the hotel?
It hasn't even been open for a year, but already I've seen more celebrities and high society folks in here than I knew existed. This place is really something special. It's definitely Mr. Merrick's finest work.
Did the hurricane cause much damage to the hotel?
Luckily, no. It knocked over a few trees, but no major structural damage. The hotel I used to work at downtown, though, oh, that got completely destroyed.
That's a real shame.
I'll say. Would have been more so if I'd still been working there.
You don't happen to have noticed any strange goings-on lately, have you?
I'm not quite sure I follow. What do you mean, exactly?
I'm thinking of certain activities which are best kept behind closed doors.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. And if I can offer a bit of advice, I don't think you should be asking these sorts of questions.
I'll let you get back to work.
Yes, sir.
Now, you look like a knowledgeable sort. No reason to keep all that information to yourself, is there? How about you let slip just a little bit, and I'll be on my way. Nobody will be the wiser.
I don't know anything for certain, but you might want to have a look on the 13th floor. Now please, go away and don't talk to me about it anymore.
Fine. That wasn't so hard, was it?
Christ, Jimmy, could you maybe try looking any more obvious? So all I gotta do is knock and tell him I'm there for Fatty's party. Great. Thanks for the heads up. I'll see you upstairs.
Yeah? Who is it?
I'm here for Fatty's party.
Why didn't you say so? Come on in.
Say, would you happen to know where I can find this Fatty character?
Mr. Walsh rarely mingles with his guests. The only way you can see him is if you're a VIP.
A VIP, huh? Well, thanks for the information.
Well, well, who do we have here?
I'm Alfred Banks. You must be Fatty.
Now, let's not start things off on the wrong foot. It's Mr. Walsh. Until I say otherwise, savvy? Who are you working for, anyway?
George Merrick.
Oh, a real estate jobby, huh? Let me guess. The big cheese sent you along to do some gumshoeing and find me because he's heard we're taking over his little pet project. Am I right? Thought so. Come on over here. Let's have a little talk. Now, you may look like a bit of a chump, but you don't strike me as one. I'm gonna level with you. I know who you are. You've been helping out this little project for quite some time, haven't you?
I have, yes. For all the good that's done me.
Before you go running back to Merrick and sing like a stoolie, let me make you a proposal. What say you leave that real estate baloney behind and come work for me?
I beg your pardon?
Sorry, did I not make it highbrow enough for you? I'm offering you an opportunity to leave behind your current employer and find more lucrative prospects with my organization. I could use a guy like you, a guy I know can get things done.
Why on earth would I want to join the mob?
Oh, let's face it, the hurricane was the last nail in the coffin for the real estate market. The bubbles burst. You ain't got no future in that business and you know it. Besides, I'm trying to help the people. There's a serious desire for alcohol in this country, and I'm providing it at reasonable prices. Wouldn't you rather be involved with a noble cause instead of swindling people by selling them worthless land?
Come
on, what do you say?
I can't. I'm sorry. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a tempting offer, but I just don't think I'm suited for it.
Uh-huh. Just take a little time to think things over. If you change your mind, come back and see me. I'll be here.
What are you looking at?
Join the mob. Really, just who does he think I am? But then again, he's not wrong about the bubble bursting. Ever since that ship blocked the harbor, things have been incredibly slow. Working for George hasn't really gotten that bad, has it? Sure, I didn't get to be mayor, but there's always the next term, right? Okay, so I'll go in and just let him know there's a speakeasy on the 13th floor. He has to give me some kind of promotion for risking my safety.
Hey, Banks.
What is it, Wilson?
Just thought you should know that Ms. Rogers is on the warpath. She's been complaining you haven't cleaned out your inbox in months. And you know how she is about tidiness.
Oh, right. Yes, I've been meaning to get around to that. Thanks for the warning.
Well, would you look at what the cat dragged in?
Alfie, you're back. I was just having a talk with Mayor Dammers about this whole situation.
I said if anyone can smoke out the undesirables in my fair city, it's Alfie Banks. After all, you've been doing a great job running around for us dealing with undesirables for the past 5 years. Speaking of, I'm going to need your help for a few things I need done, if old Georgie will let me borrow you.
We'll see, Doc. I have a few things I need him for myself. So, did you find anything?
You were right. I found a speakeasy operating out of the 13th floor. It's run by a gangster named Fatty Walsh.
I see. This is troubling.
Shouldn't be anything we can't handle.
You're right. Thank you, Alfie. Well done.
Is that it?
For now, yes.
We have to talk about this for a little while, but come back later. I've got a few things for you to do.
Yes, as do I.
Sure, I'll come back.
Is it just me, or did the kid seem a bit off just then?
Truth be told, he's been acting different for quite some time now, ever since we launched the streetcars.
This business can really get to some people, you know that?
Yes, but Banks always seemed more headstrong. Maybe it will pass.
I've decided to take you up on your offer. I'm through being an errand boy for those ungrateful grifters.
Excellent. I knew you'd see reason. You won't regret this, I can guarantee it. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, kid. You're gonna be doing a lot of running around for me, too. But the difference is here, we take care of our own.
So, what am I meant to be doing exactly? I'm not going to have to kill anyone, am I?
Relax, kid. It's not all murder and mayhem with us. Only when people step out of line. Now, it just so happens I've got a need for someone of your particular skill set. There's a bakery downtown called The Road. Seems kinda hinky. I'm pretty sure they're running a speakeasy behind my back. There's one thing I dislike, it's conflict. I want you to go down there and check it out. If you find that my suspicions are on point, sweet talk them into giving it up. All you gotta do is use words, not bullets. That ease your concern?
I suppose so. Okay, I'll do what I can. Oh, and thank you for the employment opportunity, Mr. Walsh.
Don't mention it.
dear. Welcome to the Road Bakery. Let me know if there's anything that strikes your fancy.
Pardon me.
What can I do for you, dearie?
Did the hurricane cause you much damage?
Thankfully, no, not too much. My husband was able to make repairs and get us open again. But there was quite a scene just a few blocks from here. Boats all along Biscayne Boulevard.
That must have been something. I'm glad your business was spared.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Have you been open long? I've been living here for 5 years and I've never noticed this place before.
Oh, we've been around for quite some time. We're just in a different location. This place used to be a bar, you see. When they outlawed alcohol, we moved in on account of it being such a prime piece of real estate.
I don't doubt it was. That's my line of work, actually. Or, I guess it used to be, anyway.
How nice, dear.
Can I ask you a silly question?
Of course, dear. You should know there's no such thing as a silly question. Let me guess. You want to know my cookie recipe?
Not quite, ma'am. You're really gonna laugh when I tell you. I came here because I was asked to see if there was a speakeasy operating here.
A speakeasy? Here? Oh.
I know, I told you you'd laugh.
Oh, who on earth would think this was a speakeasy?
Oh, I'm sure nobody you've heard of, just my boss. His name's Tom Walsh, but they call him Fatty. Maybe that's why he was so interested in a bakery.
Oh, you naughty thing. You've given me quite a laugh. I think you deserve a reward. Come over to the side door here and I'll give you a bag of freshly baked cookies on the house. You can take them back to your boss and let him know that's all we've got here.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am.
Think nothing of it. Well, just give me one moment.
What the?
So Fatty sent you to move in on our operation, did he? Well, he's not gonna take over here if I've got anything to say about it. Now, I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister out of my bakery before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2... Oh, whoa!
Back already? What did you find?
You were right. There's definitely something going on in that place.
And did you manage to set things straight?
I couldn't very well do much with a Tommy gun being waved in my face. I just barely made it out of there in one piece.
Disappointing. I was hoping it wouldn't come down to that. Well, you did what you could. It ain't gonna be your concern anymore. In fact, I got something else for you. There's some local businesses in town that ain't paid up for their hooch. I need you to go put the screws on them.
Are you sure I'm the right person for this job? My specialty is persuasion, not intimidation.
Well, of course I know that. That's why you're gonna smooth talk them out of their dough. If that don't work, I got a backup plan. Butch here is gonna keep you company in case you meet any trouble.
How you doing?
I guess that'll do.
So make your way over to the Alhambra drugstore, the Gables Administration Building, and Beauregard's Diner.
Did you say Beauregard's Diner?
Yeah, used to be the Gables Diner, but some upstart kid bought it a few months back and hasn't honored the previous contract. Now enough with the yap. Go do what you gotta do.
Welcome to Beauregard's Diner, sir. Will you be wanting a booth or counter service?
Neither, actually. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple questions.
Sure. I guess that'd be okay.
I've never seen you before. Have you worked here long?
It's coming up on my 6th month next week.
Oh, I guess it's been longer than I thought since I've been by. Does the name Fatty Walsh mean anything to you?
Can't say that it does. Sorry.
I had a feeling it wouldn't. I'd like to speak to the owner. Is he in?
He's in the back, but he's really busy.
I'm sure he is, but it's rather urgent that I speak to him.
Like I said, he's busy.
Tell him his brother Alfie needs to talk to him. Now.
Well, this just got interesting.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'll go get him.
What's this about?
Good to see you too, Bo.
Oh, don't give me that baloney. How many times have I seen you in the past 4 years? 2? 3? I know you're a fancy real estate big shot now, but you could at least have the common courtesy to keep in touch with your own brother.
Yes, I know. I've been a real chump lately, and I'm sorry. But I need you to listen to me for a minute. There's some serious matters we need to discuss.
Fine. I'm listening.
Did the hurricane cause you any problems?
Oh, please. Now of all times is when you decide to show some concern? I know you didn't come here just to talk about that. So what's this really about?
When did you buy this place?
6 months ago. I assume you'd have gotten one of the several messages I left you about it?
I must have gotten them mixed up with some other documents. Are you familiar with someone who goes by the name Fatty Walsh?
Walsh? I think I got a note from someone named Walsh shortly after I bought the diner.
Did you read it?
No. I started to, but it seemed like some nonsense intended for the previous owner, so I got rid of it. Why? Who is Fatty Walsh?
Bo, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Fatty Walsh is a gangster operating out of the Biltmore Hotel. He had a deal wherein he provided bootleg alcohol to the previous owner of this diner, and he expects you to continue honoring it.
Expects me to? Where's my say in this?
Bo, relax. Just listen to me.
And how do you even know about this?
Because he sent me to collect the money. But I can tell him you'll get it to him.
What? You're working for the mob now?
Bo, calm down. I need you to listen.
No, you listen! I don't hear from you in years, and now you just show up out of the blue with some 2-bit thug and try and strong-arm me to giving money to someone I've never even heard of?
Hey now, there's no need for name-calling.
You tell your boss there's no deal. I'm not interested in any illegal activities.
Bo, wait!
I have been waiting, Alfie. Didn't you hear me earlier? I'm through with this. Just do me one favor, would you? Level with me. Why have you been avoiding me all this time?
Because it kills me to see you succeed.
What?
All your life, you've just sat around being babied. Well, I've had to bust my hump to take care of you and Mother since Father died. Then all of a sudden, you decide to ride my coattails and come down here?
I thought you'd be proud of me for showing some initiative.
You came down here, lazed around, spending Mother's money for a few years, then bought a diner. Am I meant to be impressed? You've had everything handed to you on a silver platter. Do you even know half of what I've done? I should be mayor of this city.
What's happened to you, Alfie?
Nothing's happened. I'm just finally telling you the truth. You asked for it, after all.
You're right. I did. Now get out of my diner.
That was heartwarming.
Oh, shut it.
Just a minute. Oh, hello. It's Banks, isn't it?
Yes, how do you do?
Fine, fine. I'm Herbert Freedy, by the way. Please, come in. Have a seat. How may I be of service today?
We need to have a talk, Mr. Freedy.
What about, Mr. Banks?
You enjoy your job, Mr. Freedy?
I would say so, yes.
Been working for Mr. Merrick long?
Well, about 3 years now, yes. Why do you ask?
I'm just a bit interested in how you got such a high-ranking position in such a short amount of time.
I'm not sure what you're implying, young man, but I can assure you my credentials are what got me here, nothing else.
That's good to know. We're here on behalf of Fatty Walsh. Do you know him?
Fatty Walsh? Oh, God. Oh, God. Listen, please, listen to me. I'm in a difficult position right now. I've tried to stop drinking, believe me. It's put me in terrible debt, just terrible. I thought I could just stop cold turkey, but I'm too weak. Please, I'm begging you, tell Mr. Walsh I'll get him his money soon, but I can't go on like this. I just can't.
Now, Mr. Freedy, I think we can all come out of this winners if you just listen to me.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Freedy, you seem like a smart man. You don't want to get hurt, I don't want you to get hurt. So I suggest you cooperate with us.
Now, wait a minute. Who said anything about getting hurt? We don't need to make a mountain out of a molehill. Just tell me what it is you want.
I think I made myself perfectly clear from the get-go. You owe Fatty Walsh some money.
I won't deny that that's the case, but really, this is unnecessary. I'm sure we can work something out. This is all just a big misunderstanding.
I don't think you know Mr. Walsh very well. The phrase forgive and forget isn't in his lexicon.
Well, who's to say he can't learn? I'm sure he'd be perfectly willing to listen to reason.
Mr. Freedy, I'm afraid you leave me no choice. If you don't pay up, I'll have to go tell everyone in the office about your little indulgence.
If that's supposed to be a threat, you'll have to do better. My indulgence, as you call it, isn't exactly a secret around here.
So what's it gonna be, Freedy?
No deal, Banks. You talk tough, I'll give you that. But your bark, it's worse than your bite.
Butch, could you see about getting this guy out of the office for a few minutes? I need to have a look around.
Sure thing. Hey, Rughead, let's step outside for a minute.
I beg your pardon?
I need to talk to you in private. Outside. Now.
Yes. Yes, of course. Not a problem. Let's just step outside the door here.
We need to have a talk, Mr. Freedy.
What about, Mr. Banks?
Save the drama for someone who cares. Butch, a little assistance?
What are you doing?
Now, are you going to give Mr. Walsh his money or not?
You'll never get away with this. Merrick will hear about this for sure.
Butch?
Ow! Fine. Tell Walsh I'll send the money tonight. Just leave me alone.
There now. That wasn't so hard, was it? I'm afraid we've got to get going.
Fine. You can see yourselves out.
Welcome to the Alhambra drugstore, young man. How may I help you?
How are you doing today, sir?
Fine. Thank you for asking.
This is quite the drugstore you have here.
Well, we try and provide the best service to the customers.
Do you have many?
Yes, we have a fair few.
So, business is good? Making a decent living?
Yes, I would say so. Are you perhaps thinking of a career in pharmaceuticals?
Nope, just asking. I'm looking for the owner of this drugstore.
Was there something in particular you needed?
I have an important business matter to discuss.
I see. Would you like me to pass a message along to him?
Yes, please. Tell him it's in regards to a debt owed to Mr. Walsh.
Ah, yes, of course. I'll be sure to tell him as soon as he comes in.
Any idea when that'll be? We don't mind waiting.
Hard to say, really. It might be later this afternoon or tomorrow. He has a few other stores, though. Maybe you could go check there?
Maybe we will. Butch?
Yeah?
Think it's worth the trouble of trying to smoke this guy out from his other stores?
Your call. I'm not too sure what he even looks like. Although I have a feeling he might just have run out the back exit.
Horse feathers! Go get the car and try heading him off. I'll get after him on foot.
You sure about that?
He's an old man. How much trouble could it be to catch up to him? Now let's quit wasting time and get after him. Come back here. Running away isn't gonna solve anything, you know. So, you've been getting a little extra booze on the side from Freedy. I'm sure that would really interest Fatty.
What? How did you...
Running away isn't gonna solve anything, you know. Was that really necessary?
Fine. Tell Fatty I'll get him his money. Now, get out of here and don't come back.
I have to say, that went smoother than I'd expected. You're not a bad partner, Butch.
Thanks. You ain't so bad yourself.
Alfie, there you are. Thank goodness I found you. Maybe you can help me understand what's going on. I've just spoken with Mr. Freedy at the administration office, and he told me that you and another man had harassed him. Why on earth would he say such a thing?
Because we had to convince him to pay for the alcohol he's been getting from Fatty Walsh.
You what? Do you mean to say you're working for that gangster?
Yes, I am. As of today, actually.
But why? What would make you do something so drastic?
Drastic? Hardly. I'm just doing what feels right. You've never appreciated anything I've done.
Now, Alfie, you know that isn't true.
I looked up to you, George. The day you hired me on the Coral Gables project was one of the best I can remember. I did everything I could to help it succeed, bent over backwards to get where we are today. And how do you repay me? By making that two-bit snake oil salesman Dammers mayor instead of me.
Alfie, listen.
No, I'm through listening. I'm through running around like a chicken with its head cut off, and I'm through with you. When I came down here, my goal was to succeed like my father. Well, I can tell you right now, I've not only succeeded, I've surpassed anything he ever did, and I intend to surpass even the great George Merrick. So, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to report back to a boss who actually appreciates my hard work and doesn't just string me along like some floozy.
You have yourself a nice day, sir.
So, how'd it go?
The drugstore owner and Freedy will have your money by tonight. The Gables Diner deal is off.
Off? What do you mean off?
The new owner's not interested in continuing the previous arrangement.
A teetotaler running a diner. Go figure. Well, at least you got the other two to pay. Nice job, kid. I gotta confess, I had my doubts for a while, but you've done good. Welcome to our little family, Banks. You're gonna fit in just fine.
So this is the place? Looks like kind of a dump. You'd think the biggest rum runner in Cuba would be operating out of somewhere more refined.
Things work differently down here. Not everybody is as flashy as Fatty Walsh.
What was our guy's name again?
Jesus, Banks, I ain't your personal secretary. It's Manny Morales we're looking for. Try to keep it in your head this time, would you? Now enough jawing. Let's find this guy, make the deal, and get out of here. This whole island always gets me riled up.
Pardon me, miss.
What do you need, darling?
May I ask what it is you're waiting for out here?
Clients.
Clients? What's your business exactly?
Oh, you Yankees are so cute.
She's a streetwalker, kid. Surprised you couldn't tell from a mile away.
Oh, I see.
You got any plans for tonight?
Afraid so, miss.
Too bad.
Anything you can tell me about Havana?
It's the city where I grew up. You want a tour, you came to the wrong place. But if you want a good time that you can't get back in your country, you came to the right bar.
Do you happen to know Manny Morales?
Who is asking?
I don't think you need to know those details, young lady. Suffice to say, we're here on business from Miami.
I see. I didn't think you looked like a regular tourist. You're here to make a deal on rum, aren't you?
How did you...
You and your friend talk very loudly. Mr. Morales' office is behind the side door inside the bar, but he won't just let you in. He's very paranoid. You must give a password if you're going to get inside.
And do you know this password?
I might. I might even be able to tell you what it is, for the right price.
Name it.
There is a man inside the bar. His name is Umberto. You'll recognize him by his stylish dress sense. He procured my services last week and still has not paid. Get my money from him and I'll tell you the password.
Thank you for your time.
See you later, handsome.
Mind if I join you for a moment?
Not at all. Please, have a seat.
The name's Alfie Banks, by the way.
Humberto Suarez. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Banks.
You seem like a man with taste. You in here regularly?
I am, yes. I find this place is an excellent spot to unwind. Aside from that,
Can you tell me anything about Manny Morales?
I see him in here regularly, but I've rarely spoken with him. People of that sort are not the type I wish to associate with. I'm sure you understand.
I had a little chat with the girl outside. She says you owe her some money.
I'm sure I have no idea what you are talking about.
Is that so?
Mr. Banks, if you wish to come in here and join me for drinks, that is one thing. But to blatantly insult my honor by implying that I would hire that
Floozy?
Relax, it was just a question. I meant no harm by it. Listen, I feel bad about what I said earlier. Can I make it up to you by getting you a drink?
I won't say no to that. What are we drinking?
Some whiskey, perhaps.
An interesting choice. Arturo, try me those whiskeys. Thank you, Mr. Banks. That was quite enjoyable. If you'd like to have some more, I will not say no.
Butch, let's talk a minute.
What is it?
You okay? You seem a bit more on edge than usual.
I told you, Havana and I got some history that ain't so great.
Care to elaborate?
Not particularly. Look, I'll be fine. Once we finish, I'll just pop another sedative for the flight home and everything will be swell.
You know anything else about this Morales guy?
I've heard the boss mention him a couple of times, but aside from what I already told you, nothing.
Do you think he knows we're coming?
Guess we'll find out, won't we?
Why does everything we do have to be so opaque?
Because if you go shouting your business from the rooftops, there's a good chance you'll wind up getting clipped.
Could you deal with Umberto? He's not very cooperative.
Sorry, kid, but this ain't the USA. I'm not much for starting international incidents just for the hell of it. I'm not getting my hands dirty here unless I absolutely have to.
You mentioned you got sedatives? Could I have one?
Do I look like some kind of dope peddler to you?
No, I just thought having one might come in handy.
Planning on slipping someone a Mickey, are ya? Okay, I'm not gonna judge. Knock yourself out.
That isn't quite my plan, but thanks. Butch, I need you to help me out with a distraction.
What do you need me to do?
Get Umberto's attention while I'm sitting at the table. I'll give you the signal when I'm ready.
Okay, I'll be waiting.
Let's get back to it. Mind if I join you for a moment?
Not at all. Please, have a seat.
How about we have another drink?
Excellent. What are we drinking?
Some whiskey, perhaps.
An interesting choice. Arturo, try me those whiskeys.
Excuse me, do you speak-o the English? I want el drinko, pronto.
Really? Such rudeness.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. That was quite enjoyable. If you'd like to have some more, I will not say no.
Pardon me, miss.
What do you need, darling?
Thank you for your time.
See you later, handsome.
This is what Umberto was carrying. I hope it's enough to settle his debt.
It will have to do. If you want to get in to see Morales, just knock on the door and tell whoever opens the slot that Rosalinda sent you.
Got it. Thank you. Rosalinda sent me.
Well, this don't look so good.
What the hell happened here?
Looks like our friend got himself a bad case of lead poisoning.
He doesn't look like he's been dead very long, but I didn't hear any shots.
Something ain't right here. This has setup written all over it.
I'll have a look around, see if I can find anything that might tell us more. Someone beat us to the punch, it seems. These windows are the only other possible way out of here, and they're both locked. So Morales at least knew Fatty existed. Maybe he was expecting us. So Morales was meeting with someone already, even though he knew about Fatty. Wait a minute. Butch, we've been so wrapped up in figuring out what happened that we forgot the most obvious question. If Morales was already dead when we got here, then who opened the door?
Gentlemen, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but the Havana rum running trade is currently under new management.
Who the hell are you supposed to be?
I'm the new boss.
Same as the old boss, I'd wager.
Be quiet, Yankee.
Why did you kill Morales?
It was time for a change of the business. He held a monopoly on rum export for far too many years now, not giving others like me a chance to shine. I would say that was rather unfair, wouldn't you?
We came here to make a deal on behalf of Fatty Walsh back in Miami.
Yes, I know this. I'm sorry, but as the new head of the business, I will have to politely decline your offer.
I don't think Fatty will be too pleased by that.
That's not my problem. I have more reputable clients I can deal with. Walsh is nothing to me.
You sure about that, Chico?
Please, put the gun away. There is no need for this nonsense. There will be no deal with Walsh. That is final. Now please, be on your way before I...
What did you do that for?
The asshole deserved it. Now let's get out of here before these Cubans start asking questions.
This is just great. Another assignment gone to pot. You really need to work on that itchy trigger finger of yours, Butch.
Look, I said I was sorry.
Is that what we're supposed to say to Fatty? Sorry, we couldn't make the deal because Butch shot the guy in the face?
Banks, I'm really starting to...
Gentlemen, please. I've heard married couples bigger or less than you two.
Stay out of this, would you?
Fine. If you want to go back to your boss of failure, I will.
What are you talking about?
The man who went in and killed Morales was Rogelio Vargas, the only other major rum runner in town. His takeover attempt has been a long time coming. The other night, Morales told me about his meeting with Fatty Walsh's men. I knew Vargas hated Walsh and would make his move if he knew about the deal. So I tipped him off. Vargas took care of Morales, and you took care of Vargas, as I expected.
So you played us all. But why?
Isn't it obvious? There is now a vacancy in the bootleg rum trade. You can go home and tell your boss I'll be happy to open up a route for him.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Let's go, Butch. I'm starting to see why you and Havana don't get along.
So, we still on for next week, Rosa?
Wouldn't miss it for anything, handsome.
Huh? Fine, I'm coming. What?
Boss wants to see you. Says it's important.
Fine. Tell him I'll be up in a few minutes.
Who is that?
Mrs. Grundy, come to tell us the party's over.
Oh, forget that noise. Just come back to bed.
Afraid I can't. I'm not in the habit of ignoring orders from upstairs.
Fine. Your loss. Will you be long, handsome?
Knowing Fatty, it could be a while. I wouldn't wait if I were you.
Maybe I'll see you around?
Maybe you will.
Glad you could step away from the broads and booze long enough to come see me.
Are you gonna give me a hard time, or are you gonna tell me what needs to be done?
Hey, easy now. No need to throw an ing-bang over there. Here's the problem. I've been hearing about some chump out in the swamp brewing his own moonshine and trying to compete with me. The day some classless redneck pulls one over on Fatty Walsh is the day I die. I need you to go out there, find his shack, and sabotage his operation.
The Everglades are huge. How am I supposed to find one shack in the middle of all that swampland?
You'll find a way. There's a camp of prospectors settled near the start of the Tamiami Trail. They'll probably know a thing or two.
Right. I'll take care of it.
Oh, and before you go, take this. It could be pretty hairy out there, so if you run into any trouble, you won't be left high and dry.
Finally seeing fit to give me my own gun, huh?
It's been long enough. You've earned it. Now get out there and see what you can find.
Hello, sir.
What do you want, city boy?
What exactly are you doing out here?
Trying to find something of value. This land's been worthless since the hurricane in '26, but it might be good for farming. Haven't had too much luck so far.
Anything I should know about the Everglades?
Well, it's full of critters that just love to take a bite out of your fancy suit. I wouldn't stray too far from here unless you've got good reason to.
You seem like a man who's seen a fair bit. Do you know of any moonshine runners set up out here?
Moonshine? I never touch the stuff myself. You got the wrong person if you're looking for it.
It's not quite like that. Let's just say I'm looking for one particular individual for other reasons.
Well, now, I ain't gonna ask too many questions, 'cause you city folk don't bring nothing but trouble. But I can tell you the surest way to find a moonshine runner is to follow the smoke.
Smoke?
Sure. The stills let up an awful lot of smoke. They try and hide it so the law won't catch them, see? But they usually leave some sort of instructions on how to find them as a backup. Matter of fact, I found this old piece of paper behind a tree the other day. Maybe it'll come in useful to you.
I see. Thanks for the information. I'll be going now.
Go on, get.
Could I borrow your machete?
Can't imagine a fancy suit like yourself using one of these. Go ahead. It'll be fun to watch.
Go on, get out of here! Found you. Doesn't seem like that's too far away. As long as I can keep that direction, I should be able to make it there before nightfall. Hey, don't go in there!
What? Who's there? You got no business here. Get away before I pump you full of lead.
Cut it out, you stupid chump. The place is gonna blow.
Get bent. You're gonna be sorry when I come back out here.
No, you idiot!
So it's done? You put him out of business?
Yes, it's done. He won't be a problem anymore.
You rubbed him out, huh?
I didn't mean to, but yes.
I like your style. Didn't have you pinned for a button man.
It was an accident, I swear. How was I supposed to know he'd come back when the stills were rigged to blow?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I killed a man.
You get used to it. It's all part of the business.
Well, maybe I don't want to get used to it. In fact, maybe I don't want to be part of this business anymore.
Look, you're upset. I get it. It ain't easy bumping someone off. I was pretty upset my first time, too. But get that don't want to be a part of it baloney out of your head. You ain't going anywhere. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, that's more like it. Look, I'm having a big party tonight. Come by, have a few drinks, take your mind off things.
All right, maybe I will.
Good. I got an especially big job for you tomorrow, so let's celebrate tonight and discuss the particulars in the morning. See you later, kid.
Mobsters, real estate agents. What's the difference anyway? This ends tonight, fatty. I'll make you see reason one way or another. I might not get out of this alive, but I sure as hell can't keep living like this. So, they've got you guarding the party, huh?
Beats having to go and get my suit dirty out in the swamp.
What's the occasion for this party anyway?
I think it's one of his girl's birthdays or something. You know, Fatty. He'll throw a party just because he had a particularly pleasing bowel movement. First time in a while he's come out to mingle with the guests, though. Must be feeling pretty good.
Keep up the good work, Butch.
Hold on there, Alfie. You know the rules. I gotta search you.
Fine, but make it quick.
Can't let you in carrying a piece, Alfie. You know how the boss is. If you want to come in, you're gonna have to hand it over.
Fine. Here.
Okay, you're clear. Go ahead.
Mr. Walsh?
Make it snappy, kid. I got a lot riding on black.
Some party.
Thanks, kid. Glad you're enjoying yourself. Of course, things would be a lot better if that damn delivery would get here already. I'm starting to get impatient.
You mentioned a delivery?
Yeah, that's right, from the bakery. You know, the one the old bag used to run? They're supposed to be sending a cake, but it ain't here yet. Come to think of it, could you be a lamb and go check on it for me?
I'm not your errand boy, Mr. Walsh. Maybe you should ask someone else.
Actually, I think you'll find you are. So get to it.
Never mind. My gun, please.
Here you go.
Louie!
Alfie!
How'd you wind up getting this gig?
Fatty said I looked the part. Never trust a skinny baker, he said.
I guess you can't really argue with that logic. The apron really suits you.
Thanks.
So, Fatty kept this place going as a bakery?
Yeah. Can't say I blame him, though. It's a good side business, nice for laundering, you know?
Not to mention always having sweets available.
Now you're starting to understand.
I hear there's supposed to be a cake delivery to the Biltmore tonight.
That's right, for Fatty's party. Al's in the back putting the finishing touches on it. But then, he's been doing that for hours. He's obsessed with getting it just right. I had no idea he was this high-strung. I just hope he gets it done in time, or we're all gonna get it.
Take it easy.
You too.
Hey, Al. How's it going?
Thanks. You poisoned me, didn't you?
What? Don't be ridiculous. I think you're just working too hard.
Shh. Stop talking so loud.
Hold on there, Alfie. You know the rules. I gotta search you.
Fine, but make it quick.
Okay, you're clear. Go ahead. Boss, big trouble. The coppers are on their way. Someone tipped them off and they're coming to raid us.
Wouldn't you just know it, and right during a winning streak, too? Okay, you know the drill. Flip the switches and clear everyone out. Party's over, folks. Everybody kindly scram.
Oh, boss, there's just one more thing.
Yeah?
What the hell was that?
He had it coming. Some of the guys up north felt he was getting too big for his britches, so I got the order to cut him down.
So what happens to us now that Fatty's gone? Who's in charge, I mean?
Sorry to bust your bubble, but it ain't you. They'll send someone else from up north in the next couple of days. That's how this works.
So much for loyalty.
Don't give me that crap, Banks. You've been doing this long enough to know that it's all about knowing your place and doing what you're told.
So that story about the police coming was just a distraction?
Oh, no, they're coming all right. They need to find the bodies so this makes the news. Now, enough standing around.
Butch, wait.
Huh?
You're just gonna leave? What am I supposed to do?
Oh, yeah, about that. The coppers are gonna need someone to pin this on. I'm sorry to say, you drew the short straw, kid. No hard feelings, huh? Oh, I'm locking the elevator behind me, so don't bother trying to follow.
What? How can you just... I better figure out another way out of here. And fast.
Banks, over here.
Easy there, fellas. Let this guy through. He's with me. Is what they're saying true? Fatty Walsh is dead?
I think I'd prefer to plead the fifth on that one, Miss Douglas.
It's not exactly a secret that you were working for him.
Maybe not, but I've realized it's time for another career change.
Well, I'm afraid you're out of luck if you were planning on going back to Coral Gables. Our friend, George Merrick, got ousted from the city commission last June. Just as well, really. I was starting to get sick of writing all that bait-and-hook baloney. There's a new mayor, too. Dammers had some medical issue and went back up north.
Is that so?
In any case, the boom's over. It's all gone bust now. Fact is, the whole world is changing.
Yes, I'm beginning to get that impression.
So what's next for you? Aside from dodging the police, that is.
I'm not sure, but I'll try and figure something out. Good night, Miss Douglas, and thanks. I guess I owe you one.
Don't mention it. Good night, Mr. Banks, and good luck. Something tells me we're all going to be needing quite a lot of it very soon.
Another round for you, Bill?
Sure, why not? Ever since they started letting us drink again, I just can't say no. So, has the old sad sack been in tonight?
Not yet, but it's coming up on 9. He should be here any minute.
You know, he may be a real son of a bitch, but I can't help but feel sorry for him.
Well, I don't. Plenty of people are hurting these days. A whole bunch are way worse off than him. I'll take those poor folks in the Dust Bowl, for example. Anyway, just because he used to be a real estate big shot doesn't give him the excuse to be disagreeable. But hey, as long as he pays and keeps to himself, I have no quarrel with him.
Maybe I can get him going tonight and see if we can finally find out if he was really working for the mob.
Well, speak of the devil. Good evening, Mr. Banks. What'll it be tonight?
Whiskey, and keep 'em coming.
Yes, sir. Will this be on your tab?
It is every other night. Why should tonight be any different?
Here you are, sir.
Say, you got a light, pal? Thanks, buddy.
Have I got horns coming out of my forehead or something?
No, sir.
Then why are you staring at me like I do?
You used to work in real estate, didn't you?
Yeah, so? What of it?
So, I'm curious about what it was like to be right in the middle of the land boom. But really, I'm more curious about what happened afterwards. Is it true you were working for Fatty Walsh?
I see word gets around. But I've got my own word of advice. If I were you, I'd stop asking those sorts of questions before things get unpleasant.
Oh, is that a threat? This is exciting. Are you threatening me?
Bill, knock it off.
No, I'm doing more than just threatening. Oh, my head. Well, I suppose I've woken up in worse spots than this before. What's that over there on the wall? Coral Gables. The Golden Galleon. Huh. The days when I was an upstart kid who was gonna make something of himself and restore the family name. Look where that got me. Ah, forget it. Life's too short to hold grudges. After all, if it hadn't been for Merrick, I'd probably be panhandling in Bryant Park right now. I might as well go see how the old bird is doing these days. Can't possibly be worse off than me. This place hasn't changed one bit. At least something from the old days is still around.
Alfie Banks? What on earth are you doing here?
Mrs. Merrick, I know it's been a while, and I'm sorry.
10 years is much more than a while in my book, young man. In any case, I'm afraid you've picked a bad time to call.
What's the matter?
It's George, that stubborn fool. He's gonna get himself killed.
Killed? How?
You mean you haven't heard?
There's a hurricane coming. They're saying it might be as bad as the one in 26. It's set to pass through the Keys tomorrow afternoon.
So, why hasn't anyone prepared here?
Because it's not expected to come this far north.
Then there's something I'm not understanding. How exactly is George in danger?
We've been living down in Matacumbe Key for the past few years. George opened up a fishing club, and we've been running it together ever since he was ousted from the city commission. When he heard the hurricane was coming, he sent me up here and refused to budge. He said he wasn't going to let his dream die twice.
That's crazy! We have to get him out of there!
I'm afraid there isn't much that can be done. They've stopped all the trains going south.
There has to be a way. Don't worry, ladies. I'll get George back here safely. I owe him that much, at least.
Please be careful, Alfie.
And good luck.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What can I do for you?
Didn't you used to be a guard at the Dinner Key Marina?
Yes, I did. Until I got fired for letting some jerk steal a part from a hydroplane. Took me years to be able to convince anyone to hire me back.
Oh, sorry to hear that. When does the next train leave?
It doesn't.
What?
Well, haven't you heard? There's a hurricane set to strike the Keys.
Yes, I have actually.
Well, then you should know that all the trains have been canceled.
You don't understand. It's of the utmost importance that I get down to the Keys.
I do understand, and I'm afraid you're out of luck, friend. There's only one train going down there, and it's not for passengers.
Why not?
Because it's being sent to evacuate the WPA construction workers who haven't left yet. If you need to take a fishing trip, I suggest you wait a few days.
There's something important we need to discuss.
Is there? Do tell.
Look, friend, it's extremely important I get on that train. I have a friend in the Keys who needs my help.
Your friend has probably already been evacuated. There's nobody in their right mind left down there who shouldn't be there.
I know for a fact he hasn't. He's very stubborn and insists on staying.
I still don't see how that's my problem.
A man might die if I don't go down and save him. Can you really live with that on your conscience?
And if I let you go down there, you might get yourself killed too. And then I'd have 2 deaths on my conscience. So unless you give me an extraordinary reason, you're not getting on this train.
I need to save George Merrick. He's in danger.
Merrick? The Coral Gables guy? What's he doing down there?
He's been running a fishing club, but he's insisted on staying behind. Please, you don't know him like I do. He's very stubborn and passionate. If I don't go down there, he won't budge and he'll probably die.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have to stand firm on my orders. You're not getting on this train.
Look, I'm desperate. I need to get on that train. Can I maybe offer you a drink to look the other way?
A drink? You're trying to buy me off with a drink? You're just lucky I've been craving one for hours. Go on, before I change my mind. And if anyone asks, you don't tell them I let you on board.
Deal. Can't see a thing. We should be well on our way. Now I just need to find a way out of this car. The storm seems to have made landfall already. Horse feathers! Sticking around back here probably isn't the best idea. I should head towards the front of the train.
What? Who are you? What are you doing on this train?
The name's Banks. I snuck on board because I need to get to the Keys.
You're crazy. What were you thinking?
I thought this train was meant to be taking supplies down there.
It was, but the people who sent it underestimated the power of the storm. We're only going forward because there's no way to turn back. The train is already starting to come apart. You're lucky it came up here when you did. I was just about to detach the locomotive.
But why?
Because if even one car gets blown off the tracks, the rest of the train will too. It's not worth... Damn it! I was afraid this would happen. If we don't equalize the pressure in this car, in the next few minutes it'll come apart. Help me get one of these windows open, would ya? Good going, Max. Now let's get to the locomotive so we can detach the train. Otherwise, we'll be swept off the tracks along with the rest of it.
The wind seemed to have died down slightly. We must be entering the eye of the storm. Or maybe not. I'd better find George. There isn't much time. George, open this door right now!
Alfie Banks? I have to admit, you were the last person I expected to see walking through that door. What brings you to my little club?
I came to get you, George. In case you weren't aware, there's a huge hurricane on its way.
I am well aware, yes. In fact, I sent Eunice away because of it.
I know. She's the one who told me where I could find you.
I see. I have to confess, I don't fully understand why you've come. But as long as you're here, go ahead and have a seat.
I haven't got time to talk. We have to leave.
I insist. Besides, I'm not going anywhere.
George?
Yes?
I know we didn't part on the best of terms the last time we saw each other. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I was young and stupid. I thought the world owed me.
Apology accepted, Alfie. We've all been there. So, now that we've got that out of the way, what else is on your mind?
So, what have you been doing with yourself the past few years?
Well, I'm sure you heard about the bust. Coral Gables went bankrupt, and I was forced to step down from the commission. I always enjoyed it down here in the Keys, and Eunice's family just happened to own this property. So we came down here and opened up the fishing club. It's been a much quieter life than I'm used to, but I can't complain. I suppose I had my time to shine.
Couldn't the others have done something for you? What about Doc?
I assume you didn't hear that Doc passed away 5 years ago.
No, I didn't. Huh. Did you know this hurricane was coming?
I had heard, yes. The weatherman had been talking about it on the radio the past few days. They seem to take them a bit more seriously down here in the Keys.
Why haven't you evacuated?
Ever heard the old saying, the captain always goes down with his ship? I never abandoned Coral Gables. I see no reason why I should abandon the Caribbean Club.
Coral Gables was lucky. It didn't get the worst of the hurricane in 26. You're right in the path of this one.
That may be, but I think I've taken sufficient precautions.
George, we need to leave. Isn't there any way I can convince you?
You did a pretty good job of convincing plenty of other people in the old days. I'm not opposed to hearing what you have to say. So, Alfie, why is it so important we go back?
Coral Gables needs you back, George. It's just not the same without you.
Well, I hardly think that's true. Coral Gables has been fine without me the past few years. We had our moment in the sun. It's time for a new generation to take over.
There's still so much left to do in Coral Gables. You can't just give up now.
Oh, really? This is an interesting change of attitude. Didn't you give up on Coral Gables when you decided to work for Tom Walsh?
I saw the way things were headed and decided to go for a more lucrative opportunity.
For which I can hardly blame you, but I just wish you hadn't jumped ship so soon.
What else was I supposed to do? Drown with the rats? I don't share your optimism, George. I still can't understand how you never felt tempted to just give up yourself.
Who says I didn't? Do you think you're the only one who saw what was going on? The Depression came to Coral Gables years before the rest of the country. There were days when I thought about packing it all in. I knew when the bubble had burst, but I worked too hard to just give everything up. I stayed until they threw me out.
I didn't know that. I thought you were just naive.
We all have our bad days, Alfie. Sometimes it's bad weeks or even months. But what's important above all else is sticking to your principles.
I understand what you're saying, George, but times have changed. Principles are important, surely, but the depression and lack of money is all anyone thinks about. You made the city beautiful, sparing no expense, making it all about the aesthetics. But think about the value of that city in the current economic climate. Someone in charge wouldn't think twice about tearing down the Biltmore to sell the land if it meant a profit.
And all the work we did, all the sacrifices people made will have meant nothing. I hadn't even considered that possibility. I can't in good conscience allow something like that to happen. It seems living down here all these years has made me a bit out of touch. All right, Alfie. As soon as this storm passes, we'll take the first train back to Miami so I can assess the situation myself. Thank you for helping me see things a bit more clearly.
I think I'm the one who should be thanking you for that, George.
Right. Let's get a move on.
We should be careful. It sounds like the storm has gotten stronger. George, this building is coming apart. We haven't got any time to lose. We need to get someplace safer.
When we get out there, we need to head directly for the shelter south of here. Just follow me, and we'll be there in no time.
Right behind you. George, watch out! The ceiling is collapsing!
Ladies and gentlemen, today we remember a very special man whose life was unfortunately cut short. Alfie Banks was someone who wasn't afraid to speak his mind. In fact, he certainly gave me a piece of it one of the last times I spoke with him. However, at heart, he was a kind soul. Alfie cared about the well-being of others, even if they wronged him, and that takes class. Alfie didn't need to apologize to me for the falling out we had so many years ago, but he did. And that meant more to me than anyone could ever know. In the time I knew and worked with him, Alfie always showed an immense amount of initiative, which makes it no surprise that he achieved as much as he did. Despite harder times in his last few years, he showed in the end that he was a good man. I would not be here speaking to you right now if it weren't for him. Not only do I owe my life to him, but my livelihood as well. Though I may not have expressed it as clearly as I should have, Alfie was instrumental in the success of Coral Gables. I'm sure he knew that. And though he was taken from us far too soon, Alfie's legacy will live on in the streets and buildings of this city. Because, just like the galleon which came to be the symbol of Coral Gables, Alfie sailed through all our lives, leaving behind a golden wake.